Not yet done, yet begun, beheld, behold, such was the time of it, umbilical drenched with awe, infinity in a bear's paw, in a cradle of down, even lighter than a thief upon a rooftop. Yes, that she saw that it would take more than the sun to set the day on fire, and that she breathed the male, the female. Before we come to the page, before the first word is ever written down or read or listened to, there is a longing to connect. My name is Charlie Mehrhoff, your host here at Before the Page, a podcast featuring poetry, parable, fiction, and words to echo our longing. It's early December 2025 here in the North Country, cold country. Welcome to our 17th episode of Before the Page. No deep theme today. It was going to be about circles and such, and then in making the selections it went beyond the circles, yet always within. Now here, just some words to carry us along. Words that felt as if they needed to be together. So let's begin with the beginning, from Emerson's essay on circles. Note, when we talk about Emerson, we're talking about Ralph Waldo. The eye is the first circle. The horizon which it forms is the second. And throughout nature, this primary figure is repeated without end. It is the highest emblem in the cipher of the world. St. Augustine described the nature of God as a circle whose center was everywhere and its circumference nowhere. We are all our lifetime reading the copious sense of this first of forms. One moral we have already deduced in considering the circular or compensatory character of every human action. Another analogy we shall now trace, that every action admits of being outdone. Our life is an apprenticeship to the truth, that around every circle another can be drawn, that there is no end in nature, but every end is a beginning, that there is always another dawn risen on mid-noon, and under every deep a lower deep opens. Black Elk was an Oglala holy man, a man who possessed great medicine. He was a cousin of Crazy Horse. Everything the power of the world does is done in a circle. The sky is round, and I have heard that the earth is round like a ball, and so are all the stars. The wind in its greatest power whirls. Birds make their nest in circles, for theirs is the same religion as ours. The sun comes forth and goes down again in a circle. The moon does the same, and both are round. Even the seasons form a great circle in their changing, and always come back again to where they were. The life of a man is a circle from childhood to childhood. And so it is in everything where the power moves. Mary Oliver, Circles. In the morning, the blue heron is busy, stepping slowly around the edge of the pond. He is tall and shining, his wings folded against his body, fit so neatly they make of him, when he lifts his shoulders and begins to rise into the air, a great surprise. Also, he carries so light the terrible sword beak. Then he has gone over the trees. I am so happy to be alive in this world. I would like to live forever. But I am content not to. Seeing what I have seen has filled me. Believing what I believe has filled me. The first words of this page are hardly thought of when the bird circles back over the trees. It floats down like an armful of blue flowers, a bundle of light, coming to refresh itself again in the black water. And I think, maybe it is, or it isn't, the same bird. Maybe it's the first one's child, or the child of its child. What I mean is, our deliverance from time and the continuance, if we only steward them well, of earthly things. So maybe it's myself still standing here, or someone else like myself, hot with the joy of this world and filled with praise. These next words are from Rainer Maria Rilke. They were brought from the German into English by Anita Barrows and Joanna Macy. I live my life in widening circles that reach out across the world. I may not ever complete the last one, but I give myself to it. I circle around God, that primordial tower. I have been circling for thousands of years, and I still don't know. Am I a falcon, a storm, or a great song? Widely published fiction, science fiction, fantasy. A.C. Koch, after living abroad, France, South Korea, Mexico, now resides in the mile-high city where he teaches, plays music, and reviews film. This piece, Falcon Storm Song, riffs off of the Rilke you just heard. Falcon Storm Song. 1. A falcon, a driven woman, city council member, single mother, who wears an eye mask to sleep. Her brain needs it, a hood of night to dampen the world to just the way it sounds in darkness, everything holding its breath. Or a man who has climbed to the top of a mountain, heart fluttering like a hummingbird, sweaty in his North Face fleece as icy winds cut, and here he's arrived as far as his legs will take him. A rocky dome, 14,000 feet above sea level, and yet he wants to keep going. Wind has escaped machinery. Extends his arms just to see what it feels like. Or another man in a grassy field, still 40 meters from a stand of trees, but aware of a prickling across his skin. His body knows it before he does. A drone, somewhere above, fixed wing, remotely piloted. Crouching low, he makes double time, quick stepping through the grasses which part and sway at his passage. And even as the trees draw near, he feels the predator's eye fix on him, mark him with a laser pinpoint, the mosquito-y buzz of it, ready to strike like lightning. 2. A storm. A placid lover who never grows cross, agreeable to all suggestions, a smile for every moment, even as the jaw tenses and the eyes gather darkness. Or dirt-dry roads, a river of sand, shadows etched on cracked ground beneath palm trees, a city of canyons, the burr of traffic, heat of engines, exhaust, low haze over rooftops, hot breath of evening rising from the river, and no relief coming, not a drop from the sky. Or even stocking feet crossing carpet, shuffling, with one outstretched finger reaching for the brass doorknob. 3. A great song. A musician stranded on a desert island. A guitar washes ashore without strings. Or a couple dancing in an empty theater, not a single velvet seat occupied as the pair moves through their pas de deux with internalized rhythm, hitting their marks with the ease of water flowing down a creek. Not a sound but the sliding of their slippers, an exhale, a sigh. No one watching but the man in the rafters aiming the spotlight down, steering the light's beam to track and follow their motions, his foot tapping on the catwalk to an unheard beat. Or, especially, a woman on stage. Karaoke night. Her friends have pushed her up here to finally have some fun, for Christ's sakes. And now the song is playing, something 80s and peppy. But that's a distant buzz in her ear, because what she really hears is something else. A litany of things she should have said, should have done, should have known, and these things wash over her in sync with the throbbing beats, and she lets go. Mic to lips, she sings her own words, heedless of melody. They come out in a flow that overruns the tune. A midnight blue veil thrown over a glittering confession. Her friends astonished, faces falling. Even the unimpressible regulars at the bar swiveling on their stools to watch. A bolt of lightning that arrives, kinetic, and vanishes more quickly than a hummingbird's blink, its work done long before the thunder ever cracks. Again, that was A.C. Koch. And this comes from the reader decades ago. Cadence. If they dig your grave in the rain, this is a good sign. To say that the river has a mind of its own would be to inflict harm upon the river. To feast upon the lights is to justify the existence of the city. So many houses I cannot live in. Those who were meant to dance with you, they will dance with you. My lover stands childless at the end of time. Mulattoed fingertips erase the violence of rape. Dogs lap the juices of their brutal master. Greed will enlighten you. Teeth in the officer's wine glass. It's useless to speak any more. If you watch the sky long enough, you can tell where the next bolt of lightning is going to come from. None of you can do this. Heat of the axe blade justified. God as a machine counting to infinity. Beheld, behold, our tents strung up across the dust of the Milky Way. This was when her love was as simple as the smoke of our hearths mingling with the winter breath of angels. Not yet done, yet begun, being blessed, not unblessed, to have come into this through such an oasis with waterfalls and date palms between our toes. Form of being, shadow juice, not yet done, yet begun, beheld, behold. Such was the time of it, umbilical drenched with awe, infinity in a bear's paw, in a cradle of down, even lighter than a thief upon a rooftop. Yes, that she saw that it would take more than the sun to set the day on fire, and that she breathed the male, the female, the notion of language heaved within their primordial breasts, spilling over, even now. Blow on the back of your hand. Speak some words. Feel a sampling of that heat, how it was, merely an echo of your own voice, meant an eternity spent in paradise. This piece is from a book composed by the reader entitled Words to Light Eternity. As were the other two pieces. Although the sun roils in flame and heat unimaginable, so very far away, it can still feel the rose as she opens every breath and petal. How strong is love. Some words from Dogen. He lived from 1200 to 1253. Dogen. Enlightenment is like the moon reflected on water. The moon does not get wet, nor is the water broken. Although its light is wide and great, the moon is reflected even in a puddle an inch wide. The whole moon and the entire sky are reflected in dewdrops on the grass, or even in one drop of water. Enlightenment does not divide you, just as the moon does not break the water. You cannot hinder enlightenment, just as a drop of water does not hinder the moon in the sky. The depth of the drop is the height of the moon. Each reflection, however long or short its duration, manifests the vastness of the dewdrop and realizes the limitlessness of the moonlight in the sky. This from Saadeh of Shiraz. He passed in 1291. A raindrop dripping from a cloud was ashamed when it saw the sea. Who am I where there is a sea, it said. When it saw itself with the eye of humility, a shell nurtured in its embrace. We'll close with these words composed by Lew Welch. He disappeared in 1971. I saw myself, a ring of bone, in the clear stream of all of it, and vowed always to be open to it, that all of it might flow through, and then heard, ring of bone, where ring is what a bell does. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Before the Page. If you want to reach out before the page, it's easy enough to do. Just go to beforethepage@gmail.com, just how it's spelled, just how it sounds, beforethepage@gmail.com. Until the next, be well.